A travel to history of Western painting. The Western painting represents a continuous though disrupted tradition from antiquity until the present time. Initially serving imperial, private, civic, and religious patronage, Western painting later found audiences in the aristocracy and the middle class. Western painting reached its zenith in Europe during the Renaissance in conjunction with the refinement of drawing, use of perspective, ambitious architecture, tapestry, stained glass, sculpture, and the period before and after the advent of the printing press. Following the depth of discovery and the complexity of innovations of the Renaissance, the rich heritage of Western painting, from the Baroque to contemporary art, the history of painting continues into the 21st century. History of painting. History of painting reaches back in time to artifacts from prehistoric artists and spans all cultures. The oldest known paintings are at the Grotte Chauvet in France, claimed by some historians to be about 32,000 years old. Three paintings mainly show horses, rhinoceros, lions, buffaloes, mammoth, or humans often hunting. Egypt, Greece, and Rome. Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt, a civilization with strong traditions of architecture and sculpture, both originally painted in bright colors, had many mural paintings in temples and buildings, and painted illustrations on papyrus manuscripts. Egyptian wall paintings depicted many of the activities the Egyptians performed in their daily living and the journey of the deceased into the afterworld. Egyptian wall painting and decorative painting is often graphic, sometimes more symbolic than realistic. In Egyptian painting, symmetry is a constant characteristic. Greece. The culture of ancient Greece is not worthy for its understanding contributions to the visual arts. The art of ancient Greece has exercised an enormous influence on the culture of many countries from ancient times until the present, particularly in the areas of sculpture and architecture. Painting on pottery of ancient Greece and ceramics gives a particularly informative glimpse into the way society in ancient Greece functioned. Roman art. Roman art refers to visual arts that were designed in ancient Rome during the time of Roman Empire. It comprises of architecture, sculpture, and mosaic works. Roman art was influenced by Greece and can in part be taken as a descendant of ancient Greek painting. However, Roman painting does have important unique characteristics. Renaissance and Mannerism. The Renaissance. The Renaissance, French for rebirth, a cultural movement roughly spanning the 14th through the mid 17th century, was driven by Renaissance humanism and the study of classical sources. In painting, in the 4020s and 4030s, leading painters in Italy and the Low Countries separately developed new ways of painting which allowed the paintings to appear more realistic. Baroque and Rococo. Baroque. Baroque painting is associated with the Baroque cultural movement, a movement often identified with absolutism and the Counter Reformation or Catholic revival. The existence of important Baroque painting in non absolutist and Protestant states also, however, underscores its popularity as the style spread throughout Western Europe. Rococo. During the 18th century, Rococo painting followed as a lighter extension of Baroque, often frivolous and erotic and using light pastel colors. Rococo developed first in the decorative arts and interior design in France. Rococo still maintained the Baroque taste for complex forms and intricate patterns, but by this point it had begun to integrate a variety of diverse characteristics, including a taste for oriental designs and asymmetric compositions. The Rococo style spread with French artists and engraved publications. It was readily received in the Catholic parts of Germany, Bohemia, and Austria, where it was merged with the lively German Baroque traditions. The 19th century. The 19th century. The 19th century was a period when Europe and the world experienced rapid and profound changes in all areas. Art, and especially painting, in the 19th century was no different. The changes over the course of 100 years were dramatic, transitioning from historic, old masters style works to the dawn of modernity. Whereas previously artists were commissioned to produce works on behalf of a client or institution. It was during the 19th century that artists really started to produce works of their own accord, exploring new and personal areas of interest. In 1800, at the turn of the 19th century, neoclassicism was the dominant style of painting in Europe. The artistic movement had developed in the 18th century as part of the larger decorative style that encompassed architecture, sculpture, and the decorative arts. Neoclassical paintings were derived from subjects of classical antiquity or involved the painting of contemporary or newly invented compositions in a classicized style. 20th century. 20th century. 20th century art and what it became as modern art began with modernism in the late 19th century. The 20th century saw a new era of visual artists who challenged the precedent art styles. Beauty and aesthetics gave way to abstraction, expression, and symbolism. Some famous paintings. Some famous paintings. Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The painting is in oil color on white Lombardy poplar paper and is believed to have been painted between 1503 and 1506. This painting is a permanent display in the Louvre Museum, Paris since 1797. Girl with a Pearl Earring. Johannes Vermeer's beautiful portrait of the girl with a pearl earring is one of the most acclaimed paintings of the Baroque period. The oil painting of an anonymous woman wearing blue and yellow clothing and posing before a stark black background was painted in 1665. The work has been in the collection of the Mauritius in The Hague since 1902. The Starry Night. Van Gogh painted the Starry Night during his 12-month stay at the Saint Paul de Mossoul Asylum near Saint Remy Provence, France, several months after suffering a breakdown in which he severed a part of his own ear with a razor. Guernica. Guernica is a large 1937 oil painting on canvas painted towards the end of the Cubist art movement by Picasso. One of the Picasso's best known works, it is considered as one of the most moving and powerful examples of anti war art. The Scream. The Scream by Edvard Munch. Edvard Munch was an artist of the Expressionistic movement of art which originated in Germany at the beginning of the 20th century. Munch's stylistic approach to convey emotion, especially the feelings of anguish, is best displayed through his masterpiece, The Scream. Thank you.